What if I told you that rejection is the key to success? It sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Rejection isn't our enemy. It's our teacher. It's the force that pushes us to grow. Think about it. Every no we hear is a step towards a yes. Every door that closes leads us to the right one. Rejection isn't failure. It's feedback. It's a chance to learn, to improve, to become better. We've all felt the sting of rejection. It hurts. But what if we could change how we see it? What if we could embrace it? It's about turning our fear into fuel. So let's dive in and explore how we can transform our fear of rejection into a powerful tool for success. Rejection isn't new. It's as old as humanity itself. Ancient philosophers grappled with it. Socrates, the Greek thinker, faced rejection head-on. He was criticized, mocked, even sentenced to death. But he never wavered. In ancient Rome, Seneca the Younger wrote about rejection. He saw it as a test of character. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials, he said. This idea echoed through time. It shaped how we think about rejection today. Fast forward to the 20th century. Psychologists began to study rejection scientifically. They explored how it shapes our behavior, our relationships, our lives. Today, we see rejection as a part of growth. Modern thinkers like Carol Dweck talk about the growth mindset, reshaping how we approach rejection in our lives. Science has shed new light on rejection. It's helped us understand why we fear it so much. Psychologists have developed theories and conducted studies. One key theory comes from attachment theory. It suggests our fear of rejection stems from childhood. Our early experiences shape how we handle rejection as adults. If we felt secure as children, we're better equipped to face rejection. If not, it can be more challenging. Another important concept is cognitive behavioral theory. It focuses on how our thoughts affect our feelings and actions. When we face rejection, negative thoughts often flood our minds. But we can change them. Research by experts like Brené Brown highlights the role of vulnerability. By opening ourselves up to potential rejection, we become stronger. Our brains react strongly to rejection. It's not just in our heads, it's a physical response. When we're rejected, our brain lights up. It's like physical pain. The same areas that process physical hurt also handle rejection. The amygdala plays a big role. It's our brain's alarm system. When we face rejection, it goes off. It triggers our fight or flight response. Our heart races. Our palms sweat. Our body prepares for danger. But there's no real threat. It's just rejection. Stress hormones flood our system. Cortisol levels spike. This affects our thinking. It can cloud our judgment. It makes it harder to see rejection objectively. We might overreact. But there's good news. Our brains are plastic. We can train them to respond differently. Resilience is key to overcoming rejection. It's our ability to bounce back, to keep going when things get tough. Psychologists have studied resilience extensively. They've found ways to build it, to strengthen it. Like a muscle, resilience grows with use. Self-esteem plays a crucial role. People with high self-esteem handle rejection better. They see it as a reflection on the situation, not on themselves. Building self-esteem isn't easy, but it's possible. It starts with self-compassion, with treating ourselves kindly. Emotional intelligence is another important factor. It's our ability to understand and manage emotions, both our own and others. Cognitive reframing is a powerful tool. Instead of seeing rejection as a dead end, we can view it as a detour. This shift in perspective can transform how we experience rejection. Rejection is universal, but how we handle it varies across cultures. In some societies, rejection is seen as a personal failure. In others, it's viewed as a natural part of life. These cultural differences shape how people cope with rejection. In many Western cultures, individualism is prized. Rejection can feel like a personal attack. It can shake our sense of self. But in more collectivist cultures, like many in Asia, rejection might be seen differently. it might be viewed in the context of group harmony. The focus is less on individual failure and more on maintaining relationships. Some cultures have specific practices for dealing with rejection. In Japan, for example, the concept of gammon encourages endurance in the face of difficulties. In some African cultures, community support plays a big role. Rejection is faced collectively, not just individually. Understanding these cultural differences can broaden our perspective. This cultural wisdom can enrich our own strategies for overcoming the fear of rejection. Now, let's get practical. How can we actually overcome our fear of rejection? It starts with small steps, with daily practices, with a commitment to growth. Here are some strategies you can try. First, expose yourself to rejection. Start small. Ask for a discount at a store. Invite someone new to lunch. Each time you face rejection, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can handle it. It gets easier with practice. Next, reframe your thoughts. When you face rejection, pay attention to your inner dialogue. Are you being overly harsh on yourself? Try to be objective. What can you learn from this experience? How can it help you grow? This shift in thinking can transform rejection from a setback into an opportunity. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you face rejection. Treat yourself as you would a good friend. Acknowledge that rejection is part of being human. It doesn't define you. Finally, celebrate your efforts. Every time you put yourself out there, it's a win. Let's end with some inspiration. History is full of people who faced rejection and went on to achieve great things. Their stories can motivate us. They can show us what's possible when we persist in the face of rejection. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Her Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers. But she didn't give up. She kept trying. Today, her books have sold millions of copies worldwide. Rejection didn't stop her. It was just part of her journey to success. Or consider Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. He faced numerous setbacks and rejections, but he persisted. He built an entertainment empire that has brought joy to millions. These stories remind us that rejection is not the end. It's often just the beginning. It's a challenge to grow, to improve, to persist. When we embrace rejection, we open ourselves up to incredible possibilities. We pave the way for our own success stories. Because on the other side of rejection, amazing things await.